2016 to date, 6 years, to 2021, our investment, our total investment in budget in education at the federal level is about 3.6 trillion, just 3,550 billion. That's our investment for 6 years. That is not up to South African, which is second biggest economy, or about the same for 1 year. In 2020, their budget for education was 380 billion rands. If you convert these two, you will see the difference. So you need to invest more. And if you look at their own, it was about between 14 and 16%. All throughout these 6 years, our budget is not up to 10% in education. There's no way that can happen with the pool of people we have out of school. For me, Nigeria can design their budget differently. If we work hard in this country, I believe Nigeria can, if they pluck all revenues, be able to get a revenue of about 15 trillion annually. And if they are borrowing, not throwing away to subsidy and other areas and curtailing cost of governance, they borrow about maybe another 10 trillion. You need about 25 trillion budget to start with. And 10% of that should go to education. And 10% to the other areas which we're going to come into. We're going to invest in education. We're going to do whatever is possible to ensure that we pull those millions of children and ensure they get basic education, which is the most important.
Okay, and that was dead on time again. Thank you very much indeed. And just to mention that we are going to come back to both of you, Mr. Kwankwaso and Mr. Abubakar, with this question, but I'm going to go over to Abuja now and bring back, okay, I'm told that they're not quite ready in Abuja, so let me come to you, Waziri Atiku Abubakar, with that same question. What will you do as president to reverse the growing number of out-of-school children in this country?
I tried to do that when I was a vice president, particularly with the northern states. I commissioned a special study which was made by a committee headed by Professor Adamu Baike, a foremost educationist in Ahmadu Bello University. And as a result of that, we produced a handbook on how the northern states can catch up as far as education is concerned. It requires more investment. Like Peter said, we are not investing enough in education. And because it particularly concerned the northern states, I called all the northern governors in Kaduna and gave them a copy of the report and how to implement it. I think not a single governor implemented that report. But then we don't have a way to force them to implement it because they are sub-regional, entities which have their own authority in the Constitution. Our own was just to advise them. So it requires really additional funding and infrastructure to be able to bring up the numbers as far as the northern states are concerned, and therefore provide a productive population. Because all this talk about poverty, unemployment, and so on and so forth, once you increase investment in education and you provide the right type of education, you are going to solve the poverty issue.
Thank you very much indeed. And let me come to you, Mr. Rabiu Kwankwaso, to also answer that question. We need dramatic improvement, as I'm sure you know, and you've mentioned that already, dramatic improvement to education in this country, getting millions of children back into school, especially in northern Nigeria. What will you do as president to reverse the growing number of out-of-school children in this country?
Thank you very much. Let me just comment on what Waziri said about being fairness to PDP. I believe that Nigerians are very fair to PDP over the years. I only want to remind him that he led us out of PDP in 2013-14 because PDP was very bad at that particular time. and we went and formed APC. Unfortunately, APC to many people today is not as good as we expected, me and him. And at the end of the day, we came back to the very PDP that we decided to leave. To us, and I'm sure to many Nigerians, especially the PDP people, they believe that, yes, PDP was bad, but APC is very bad. And many people believe that PDP plus APC is what we have seen today in this country, the issues that we are discussing. Anyway, that is just by the way. But the issue of education, we believe that more investments should be made in education. We will encourage private people to set up facilities, primary, secondary, and tertiary. I have to thank Waziri. He has an institution, university, which is a very good thing. The only thing is that he should try and make the fees and so on much lower so that our team supporters, Nigerians, as many as possible, can join the university. So we are going to do whatever it takes to ensure that education, right from the issue of that was raised, I thought we will be given opportunity to talk about ASU. But I want to say that...
We will talk about that.
Okay.
You've got about 10 seconds to round off.
We will do all what it takes, really, to ensure that each and every child in this country will be given the opportunity to go to school at all levels. And that's why in our manifesto we decided to say that all forms, especially
I'm really sorry
that
to interrupt
INEC,
you, sir, but we are out of time. You did speak about the PDP originally at the outset rather than focusing on the issue, but you have made the point. So,
It is contrary to your ground.
with all due apologies, I'm afraid I have to interrupt you, but thank you very much indeed. And you will get the chance to talk about the ASU strike as you wanted.